Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chilltalk English.
Hi, friends. I'm Emma, and I'm very happy you're here.
And I'm Henry. Calm voice, slightly messy life.
Today's episode is a big one.
A very practical one. We're talking about health and medical English. The kind of English you hope you never need, but you really should have.
Because travel English is fun, job English is useful, but medical English can be a lifesaver.
Also, it can save you from awkward moments, like when you say, "My heart is broken," but you mean, "I have heartburn."
Different problem, Henry. Very different.
True story. I once said that. The pharmacist looked worried.
So today, we'll guide you step by step. We'll go from the body to symptoms to the pharmacy to the doctor and even emergencies.
And we'll keep it simple, clear, and real.
Quick note, we are teachers, not doctors. This is English practice, not medical advice.
Great. Let's start with the foundation, the body map. If you only know head and arm, you can still communicate. But when you want help fast, specific words are powerful.
Let's go top to bottom. Repeat in your mind or out loud if you can.
At the top, your scalp is the skin on your head.
Your forehead is here, above your eyes.
The jaw helps you chew. The chin is below your mouth.
And your cheekbones, they're the hard part of your cheeks.
Inside the mouth, you have teeth, tongue, and gums.
Gums are the soft pink part around your teeth.
If you feel pain around the nose area, you might mention your sinuses.
Sinuses can feel heavy when you have a cold.
Now, the neck area. The front of your neck has your throat.
If you can't speak well, you might say, "My voice is hoarse."
Hoarse means rough and weak.
Going down to the upper body, shoulders, chest, and ribs.
The ribs protect your lungs and heart.
Your back is important too. Many people say, "My back hurts," but you can be more specific.
You can say upper back, middle back, or lower back.
And your spine is your backbone.
Arms. You have the upper arm, the elbow, the forearm, and the wrist.
Your hand has palm and fingers. And don't forget, thumb.
Now the middle. Your waist is the narrow part.
Your hips are here, left and right sides.
Many learners say stomach for everything, but in daily English you can say,
My stomach hurts, my belly hurts, or I have pain in my abdomen.
abdomen is a more medical word, but it's common at the doctor. Now legs, thigh, knee, shin, calf, ankle, and heel.
Shin is the front lower leg, calf is the back lower leg. Henry, quick mini test. If you hit the front of your lower leg on a table, what did you hit?
My shin. Sadly, I know this from experience.
Perfect. And the bottom of your foot is the sole.
Great, that's the map. Now let's talk about how you feel. People ask, "How are you?" And we often say, "Fine."
But in real life, we need more words, especially when something is wrong.
Let's start positive. You can say, "I feel well. I feel healthy. I feel full of energy."
Or I feel refreshed, like after a good sleep.
Now, the not great but not terrible zone.
You can say, I feel a bit off.
Or, "I'm not myself today."
Or I feel run down. That means tired and a little sick.
If you feel like you might get sick soon, you can say, I think I'm getting sick, or I'm coming down with a cold.
If you feel tired, you can say, I'm exhausted, I'm worn out, or I have no energy.
If you feel dizzy, you can say, I feel lightheaded.
Lightheaded can happen if you stand up fast, or if you didn't eat.
Now let's talk about symptoms, common ones.
You can say, I have a fever, I have chills, I'm sweating, I have body aches.
If your nose is blocked, you can say, my nose is stuffy, or I'm congested.
If it's the opposite, you can say, I have a runny nose.
Throat. I have a sore throat.
Cough. I have a dry cough, or I have a cough with mucus.
And a key skill, describing pain.
Pain is not just it hurts. We can describe the type.
Here are some useful adjectives.
Dull pain. Not sharp. It's there all the time.
Sharp pain, sudden, like a knife.
Throbbing pain. It feels like a heartbeat.
Burning pain, hot, like fire.
And we can describe intensity. Mild, moderate, severe.
Or the doctor may ask, from 1 to 10, how bad is it?
You can answer, it's about a 4, or it's a 9, it's really bad.
Also useful, it comes and goes.
That means it's not constant.
Or it's getting worse, or it's getting better.
Nice. Now let's go to our first location, the pharmacy.
Imagine this scene. You wake up feeling terrible. Not emergency terrible, but uncomfortable.
You go to a pharmacy. In some places, people say drugstore.
You walk up to the counter and say,
Hi, I need some help. I don't feel well.
then you explain your symptoms.
Let's do a role play. I'm the pharmacist. You're Henry.
I feel like I'm going to fail my own podcast.
You'll be fine. Go.
Hi, I have a sore throat and a dry cough.
Okay. How long have you had it?
For 3 days, and I can't sleep well.
Do you have a fever?
A small fever, not very high.
Great. You can ask for something for a sore throat, cough medicine, or cough drops.
Cough drops are also called lozenges, right?
Yes, lozenges is a great word.
And the pharmacist might ask, do you want something that makes you sleepy?
Because some cold medicine causes drowsiness. Drowsy means sleepy.
Good point. If you need to work, you can say, do you have a non-drowsy option?
Now, another common pharmacy topic, stomach problems.
The awkward zone.
But we can be polite and clear. For nausea, say, I feel nauseous, or I feel sick to my stomach.
If you throw up, you can say, I vomited, or simpler, I threw up.
If you have diarrhea, I have diarrhea.
If you can't go to the bathroom, I'm constipated.
And you might ask for something to settle my stomach, or rehydration salts.
Rehydration is important after diarrhea. Great word.
Allergies. Very common.
You can say, my eyes are itchy. I'm sneezing a lot. My nose is runny.
Then ask, do you have an antihistamine?
And again, is it non-drowsy?
Now, a super important pharmacy skill, instructions.
Yes, because medicine language can be fast.
Ask simple questions. How many should I take?
How often?
Should I take it with food?
Are there side effects?
Side effects are unwanted results like sleepiness or nausea.
Also ask, can I take this with other medicine?
Great. Now, sometimes the pharmacy is not enough. You need a doctor.
Let's move to the clinic. Step 1, making an appointment.
You can say, I'd like to make an appointment, please.
If it's urgent but not an emergency, is there any appointment available today?
If you don't have a doctor, can I see a general doctor?
Or a primary care doctor, depending on the country.
Now you arrive. The receptionist may ask, "Are you a new patient?"
You can answer, "Yes, I'm a new patient."
Then, "Please fill out this form."
The form may ask about allergies, past problems, and current medicine.
Good vocabulary here. Allergy, medical history, current medication.
Then you wait. The nurse calls you.
The nurse might check your temperature, blood pressure, and heart rate.
Those are vital signs.
Now the doctor comes in and asks, "What brings you in today?"
Here's a strong structure for your answer.
First, "I'm here because."
Second, my main symptom is.
Third, "It started."
Fourth, it gets better when, or it gets worse when.
Let's do a fresh example. Henry, you're the patient.
Okay, I'm here because I have pain in my lower back.
Great. How would you describe the pain?
It's a dull pain most of the day, but sometimes it's sharp when I bend over.
Nice. How long has this been happening?
About 2 weeks.
Does anything help?
It feels better when I lie down. It feels worse when I lift heavy things.
Perfect. That's very clear English.
Doctors also ask about related symptoms.
Like, do you have numbness?
Numbness means you can't feel well, like pins and needles.
Or, do you have trouble breathing?
Or any chest pain?
If you don't understand, it's okay to say, "Could you explain that in simple words?"
Or could you repeat that, please?
After the exam, the doctor explains the plan.
You might hear you need rest, you need antibiotics, you need a blood test, or you need an x-ray.
If you want clarity, ask, "What is this test for?" or "When will I get the results?"
If the doctor gives you medicine, how long should I take it? And if you need proof for work or school, can I get a doctor's note?
Now, let's visit two places many people avoid, the dentist and the eye clinic.
The dentist's chair is a special kind of fear.
In the dentist chair, you might say, "I'm here for a checkup and cleaning."
Or, I have tooth pain.
Common phrases, "My tooth is sensitive to cold," or "It hurts when I bite."
The dentist may say, you have a cavity.
Cavity is a hole in the tooth.
And treatment, you need a filling.
If you're nervous, you can say, "I'm anxious. Please go slowly."
Or, can you numb the area?
Numb means you don't feel pain.
For eyes, you can say, my vision is blurry.
I get headaches when I look at screens.
I can't see far away clearly. Or, I can't read small text easily.
If you wear glasses, you might ask, "Has my prescription changed?"
And if contacts feel uncomfortable, my eyes feel dry.
Great. Now let's shift to something happier, staying healthy.
Many learners want to talk about the gym, exercise, and daily habits.
This is common conversation with friends and coworkers.
At the gym front desk, I'd like a day pass. Or, how much is a monthly membership?
On the gym floor, "Is this machine free?"
Or, how many sets do you have left?
Sets and reps are key words.
I'm doing 3 sets of 10 reps.
If an exercise is hard, "My legs are shaking."
Or, I'm out of breath.
If you need help, "Can you watch my form?"
Form means your body position.
And if you overdo it, "I'm sore today."
Sore is normal after exercise, but sharp pain is different.
Yes, sharp pain can be a warning sign.
Now, nutrition. Beginner-friendly, but modern.
You can say, "I'm trying to eat healthier."
Or, I'm eating more vegetables.
Or, "I'm cutting down on sugar."
Cutting down means reducing.
If you have a special diet, "I'm vegetarian. I don't eat dairy. I avoid gluten."
At a restaurant, does this contain nuts?
Or, "Can you make it without cheese?"
Also, hydration.
I'm trying to drink more water.
Or, I think I'm dehydrated.
Dehydrated means your body needs water.
Great. Now an important topic, mental health.
Mental health English is not only vocabulary, it's also kindness and clarity.
And it's okay to speak simply. You don't need fancy words.
You can say, I feel stressed,
Or, I feel overwhelmed. That means too many things at once.
or I can't focus,
If you feel anxious, I feel nervous all the time.
or my heart is racing,
If you feel low, I feel down.
or I've lost motivation.
Supportive phrases matter too. You can tell a friend, I'm here for you.
Or, do you want to talk about it?
Or, that sounds really hard.
If you need a break, I need some time to rest.
If you seek help, I'm talking to a counselor, or I'm seeing a therapist.
Simple and respectful.
Okay, Henry, time for the most intense section, emergencies.
The part we hope you never use, but you should know it.
First, calling emergency services.
You say your location first. I'm at.
Then the problem. Someone is unconscious.
Unconscious means they're not awake.
Other key emergency phrases. He's not breathing. She can't breathe. There's a lot of bleeding.
I think it's a broken bone.
He's having a seizure.
If someone is choking, she's choking.
And if you think it's a stroke, his face is drooping, or she can't speak clearly.
The operator may ask questions. If you don't understand, say, please speak slowly.
While waiting, you can say what you're doing. I'm staying with them.
I'm keeping them still.
I'm applying pressure to the wound.
Pressure means pressing to stop bleeding.
Now, the emergency room.
You might hear ER or A&E.
At the front, they may ask, what happened?
You can say, I fell and hurt my ankle.
I slipped on the stairs.
I was in a car accident.
Then describe symptoms again. Pain level, where it is, what it feels like.
If you need help right now, I'm having trouble breathing.
Or, the pain is severe.
In the hospital, you may hear, we need blood tests. We need a scan. We'll give you an IV.
IV is a tube that gives fluids or medicine into your vein.
If you stay overnight, I'm being admitted.
When you can go home, I'm being discharged.
And always ask, what should I do at home?
Do I need a follow-up appointment?
That was a lot.
But you did it, and you don't need to memorize everything in one day.
The goal is confidence. When you're sick, you're tired. You want easy English ready in your head.
Let's do a quick recap with mini lines you can copy.
I have a sore throat and a cough.
My main symptom is pain in my lower back.
It started 3 days ago.
It gets worse at night.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 7.
Do you have a non-drowsy medicine?
How often should I take it?
Are there any side effects?
And now, our small challenge for you.
For the next 7 days, describe one health thing in English each day.
Nothing dramatic, simple things.
Day 1. I feel tired.
Day 2, my neck is stiff.
Day 3. I drank more water today.
Day 4, I went for a short walk.
Day 5. I felt stressed, so I took a break.
Day 6, I had a headache, but it got better.
Day 7. I feel proud because I practiced.
That last one is my favorite symptom, pride.
That's a healthy feeling.
Thanks for spending this time with Chilltalk English.
If this episode helped you, save it and practice with it again.
Your English is not only for tests, it's for real life.
Take care of yourself and keep practicing. See you next time.